Hello and welcome. In this video, we're looking at a little something called protraction, and it's a really handy thing to know to make your yoga practice a whole lot more effective, a lot more efficient, and a lot more enjoyable. Protraction is the most powerful position that the shoulders can be in to push something away from you. So this is very useful information and practice to have in things like plank position, all of your arm balances, downward facing dog to a particular degree, all those other modern variations like wild thing, flip dog, fallen triangle, side plank to a particular degree as well. Just having this understanding will be absolutely transformative for your yoga practice, just as it has been for mine. It really amplified things in a way that I didn't really imagine could happen, even after years and years of practice, just by bringing a different level of emphasis onto this shoulder position. So let's have a look at it. So protraction, in its most basic way I can explain it, is to kind of round your upper back. It's to separate your shoulder blades and create like a turtle back. And in yoga, we might call it the angry cat sort of position there in cat-cow. It's to push the spine up between the shoulder blades and to separate the shoulder blades most maximally. So we spread them out and create this nice, powerful position through the shoulders where we feel like we're pushing something forcefully away from us. I think there's a lot more emphasis coming to this shoulder position in the modern day with yoga, but for the most part, it's been left out. And I think understanding this more in depth will naturally progress your practice in a way that you can't imagine. So let's have a little look at it. But basically, we can learn it from just this tabletop position, being on all fours. And, if we dip the belly down into that sort of cow position and squeeze the shoulder blades back together, then we can really get an exaggeration and a bit more emphasis on feeling how we can do the opposite. So this is called retraction, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And now we go into protraction. So pushing the ground away, bringing the spine up between the shoulder blades and keep pushing up. Now we might even tuck the chin a little bit in, head down, and also it helps to round the rest of the spine, if not slightly tucking the tailbone. And you can feel, I can feel just a sense of heat and activation coming to the space between my shoulder blades there. The muscles between your shoulder blades are called your rhomboids, and they're starting to stretch but also activate. In this position, we're also starting to utilize the chest a little bit more, the pecs, and starting to utilize, obviously, a lot of the shoulder muscles, the deltoids and some other accessory muscles that just don't really matter at this point. You're welcome to look more in depth. Let's keep this practical for now. So let's give this a go, and I want to show you the difference that it makes to your plank position, because I think that's where it can be highlighted the most and where you can find the most detail in it. So here, let's do like a poor one together. Let's do a crappy version. So as you squeeze the shoulder blades together, or just don't concentrate on them too much, go ahead and tuck the toes, step the feet back, and lift the knees into plank. Now, immediately here, I'm feeling it on my wrists, I'm feeling my shoulders already fatiguing, and I'm feeling like I need to lift my hips to take it off my core. So it's very taxing on my core. My midsection's already starting to shake a little bit. So that's not really what we want to do. Have a rest, and now you might even have a little wriggle out of the wrists. But let's do it sort of properly, powerfully. And so as you find this tabletop position, push the ground away, round the upper back. You might even tuck the chin a little bit. But more than that, see if you can ground your index finger and thumb. And then feel like the shoulders kind of round out or roll out to the sides a little bit. So it feels like right here under the shoulder, starts to activate sort of into that lat region, side body region, just under the shoulder. So it's a little turn out of the shoulders, but then the thumb and index finger press down. Now really push the ground away so the spine's popping up through the shoulders, as arched as you can be. And now tuck the toes, step the feet back into plank, and feel how much power is there through the shoulders, how much more steady and sturdy you feel through your shoulders. Notice how much less weight is on your wrists and in your core. And that's the big emphasis there. That's the big focus, that you're bringing that weight into the shoulders and starting to strengthen all those muscles in the shoulders. I'd say for the first few days, weeks, even months, there's going to be some new muscles being felt, and that's good. Work with that. Now, some of the other places where this really shows up in being highly effective and highly supportive, where you're going to evolve really, really quickly, is the step through. So sometimes you might hear in like a vinyasa practice especially, that when we're in down dog, sometimes you're asked to step your foot between the hands. And so here, there's two parts that are really key to being able to achieve this. One is your ability to compress your core, or just your core activation. So the ability to bring the knee in towards your chest. That's one part. Hip flexor strength, core strength, all a part of that. And that might be definitely something that needs some practice and some work to get a little bit better at. But the other part of this is creating the space for the length of your leg to be able to step through. And that big time comes from protraction, or your ability to protract. So if I give you a little bit of an example, even if I can squeeze my knee in nice and tight to my chest and then come forward to try and step through, I still don't have quite enough space there, as tight as I can squeeze. So if I start to protract a little bit more and round my upper back, I create a bit more space for that foot to step through. You'll feel that sense of emphasis needing to come up and arch into the spine to create that space between the chest and the floor. Your step through is one of the best places that you can build your strength for protraction. Plank is another one, and also your tiger curls. Your tiger curls are this one from down dog. Sometimes I call them mountain runners, maybe in other disciplines. So not just trying to bring the knee in, but also trying to round the upper back and squeeze in as hard as you can. So it's that combination of the core strength and the shoulder kind of positioning getting more protracted. You'll notice, especially in that tiger curl or the step through, how much that relates to something like crow. And this is the biggest thing that I've noticed when learning how to better protract my shoulders. I don't need to practice arm balances quite so much to be able to then just do arm balances, simply by the foundation of protraction and good core work. So if you'll notice, this tiger curl position is like one half, or looks like crow. So if I come towards crow and lift my hips up, the knee driving into the armpit almost looks like that. And if I round my upper back and shift body weight forward, that position starts to happen, or at least the power is there from the shoulders. We've got lots more videos on how to do arm balances, how to break them down and look at them specifically. So watch out for those. But for now, concentrate on all those positions that you know that you can build the strength in for this. Your plank position, your tiger curls, your step through. It's just that extra 1 or 2% emphasis to round up through the upper back that's going to make a massive difference in the long run. In downward facing dog, it's a little bit of a combination of protraction. So we're pushing the ground away, but it's not quite as emphasized as it is here in plank because the chest needs to come back and through. So we've got a bit of external rotation happening at the shoulder, meaning that the shoulders roll out, like the palms want to face in, the armpits want to face in, but then the thumb and index finger stay grounded. There's a link to another video on the importance of shoulder positioning in things like downward facing dog and your plank, with this idea of external rotation and how we can protect the wrists a lot better in those positions. So link is there. For now, focus on that extra 1 to 2% in your protraction. I'd love to hear from you and how you're going with this. Happy to field any questions that pop up, so please let me know. Much love to you. Take care. Have fun. Protract.